I would consider myself and my peers among the highest level of skilled musicians, right?
Hmm.
And and I don't say that to say because I don't view anybody as bad. I only think people suck when they think they're good. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so
Oh, I get that. I get that. Yeah,
yeah, you
yeah,
feel me? Like,
yeah,
you don't have to be the most skilled because everybody's good.
yeah,
So I don't say this to say it like, oh, I'm this or that, but I just have a lot of experience musically.
yeah.
So it just, you don't do that much time, dedicating yourself to a craft without just, acquiring a lot of different things that will help you.
Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two, the podcast, as always, hosted by me, Chris. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 433. I got a lot of info I gotta get out there before the episode starts. But of course, message of the podcast, have been going strong for a year now. Be kind and courteous to others, and treat everybody like human beings, because at the end of the day, that's who we are. We're all humans. We all have blood. We all have flesh and blood, okay? And of course, if you're going to go out into the world and you don't feel comfortable or you're scared, there's no fault in wearing a mask, all right? Even if you're vaccinated and you're still like, there's too many people here, hey, stay at home. Or if you have to, wear a mask. You'll feel safer, okay? Message of the podcast: be kind and courteous to others and wear a damn mask. My guest today is a wonderful singer, songwriter, musician, Kenneth Whalum. He's on the podcast. It's, man, what a fantastic chat we both had. A lot of things I need to get out there. He has a single coming out, or his second single should be out right now, called Make Sure. But he has a full-length album coming out in July 16th, and the album is called Broken Land 2. And not only that, but on July 22nd, he has a live event, a concert going on in New York City. New York City. Yes, New York City. At the Mercury Lounge. And again, July 22nd, and the album Broken Land 2 comes out July 16th. Follow him on his social medias, Kenneth Whalum. Yeah, and that's it. Wow, I guess I did it. I did it. I got all the information out. I know I had so much fun chatting with Kenneth that I forgot to ask him where we could get all this information. So I just figured I'd fill you guys in. Of course, I'm done talking now because we need to get into this episode and we need to listen to Kenneth because Kenneth is an amazing person. So everybody sit back, relax, and Kenneth, take it away. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Dude, I'm feeling really good. I got my kids in Memphis visiting my parents. I flew them here to spend some time. So yeah, I'm getting caught between lunch and putt putt. So
are you an aggressive putt player?
I'm not, especially the only time I go is with my kids. So, I have to downplay my genius,
Right.
stellar ability.
Yeah, it's important to let the kids win, but then after a certain age, it's like, okay, all bets are off. You need to learn how to fail, and I'm going to
Yeah.
teach you.
Yeah, and when the smack talk starts from my kid, I know it's time.
yeah,
Which is
okay.
where we're at, so today might be his day.
Yeah, it's like, look, you started it. All right, I'm gonna finish it.
Exactly. It just happened in basketball actually a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
And he was pissed, and I'm like, hey. This is not personal, but you do have to be able to take a loss.
Right. I That's one of the most important lessons that I think anybody can learn is just to accept failure, accept a lot, just accept that,
Yeah,
how to lose
yeah,
basically.
yeah, absolutely. I agree. I totally agree. I
uh,
totally.
but see, as you can see, this is a loose show where we can
Yeah,
chat
yeah.
about anything. I'm curious though, obviously with the pandemic going on and starting to slow down, I'm just curious for the past year, what's your creativity been like?
Um, you know what? It's actually been generally the same in terms of how the space I usually create in,
Mm-hmm.
because I create from a place of, it's like my storytelling and my content and my recollection that the place that I draw from, when I'm writing and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
is almost like a pandemic. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's like a personal set of circumstances that aren't actually the best. So it didn't really affect me much. I actually, when everything started, I was telling people it's like, welcome. You know what I mean? Like I kind of feel like I had been and I'm in a much better place now, but
Mm-hmm.
just personally, I was wading through some things and like just already, you know what I mean? So when the pandemic hit, the only thing that changed was I started wearing a mask, you know what I mean?
Mm.
I was already spending a lot of time just, reflecting and like having a lot of time to myself to like, just be at one with my thoughts and my feelings. So a lot, it didn't really change my process at all, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. And the album that you have coming up here, was that done during the pandemic or before?
No, it was done before. I
Okay,
finished it during the pandemic, but it was
gotcha.
a lot of it, especially the meat of the sessions I did at United with the guys. That was done before for sure.
Okay, okay. As far as you mentioned earlier, kind of uh, finding yourself and being at one with yourself. Did you notice an effect with your songwriting after you took that time for yourself?
Yeah, I think it's more of like I can like liken it to basketball, for instance,
Mm,
or a sport where you can perform, but you perform better when you're in shape,
yeah.
and so I think that before is sort of similar to not being in shape. So you can still get things done. You can put up a good performance, but when you've been working out and you've kind of been exercising those muscles that need to be used, you just put up an all around better performance. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So like I just feel like I've sharpened up a lot, and there's more clarity in what I want to say,
hmm.
in
Yeah.
terms of like where, in terms of putting it all together. But I mean, it's all coming from the same place, though. It's not like I've reached a new point and now I just want to talk about flowers and bubble gum and shit.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's still
Yeah.
the same stories. I'm just feeling good and I can just tell it without it, having the same effect maybe, at that time.
Mhm. Has there ever been a point in your entire career when you're writing, and it'll probably be when you were just starting out, but was there ever a point when you were just
By the way,
uh
I'm sorry about the hour delay. I don't know if
oh
I
no, yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry.
you're fine. You're
Okay,
it's
okay.
Well, I'm sorry about Tuesday. Texas has been absolutely horrible right now, and
Right.
like
You in
I can't.
Austin?
I'm in San Antonio.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah, so I remember seeing that thing of, oh yeah, there's going to be power limiting your power usage, and I'm just saying, oh
Right.
shit, here we
Right,
go.
right, right.
And then
Yeah.
out of nowhere, the power goes off, and I'm just okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay.
No.
It screwed me up that whole day, but it's okay. It's fine
Man, no
now.
problem at all. No problem at all. I'm fluid, man. It's cool.
Well, good, good. I'm glad. Um, but
All right. No.
yeah, so I'm just curious because I'm very curious about people when they're starting to get their craft, starting to do what they love to do, what they're born to do, all that good stuff. Was there a point when you were just so nervous to put out anything that you wrote, or like a song that was so personal to you? Did you ever have that feeling of I don't know if I could do this?
Actually, no, not in that way. And I actually, it's funny. I had a conversation with a buddy of mine who he's a musician. He plays the horn, and like he was talking to me about the fact that he was nervous about being open in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is with me is that I came from playing the saxophone all the time, in different
Mm-hmm.
settings in different ways, and I always wished that I had an opportunity to play behind some really great singers, right?
Yeah.
So you look at D'Angelo, you look at Maxwell, you look at Justin Timberlake or Maroon 5, all these different people where I like them being able to sing, but I was always stuck to using an instrument that didn't have words. So
Right.
when it came down to me telling my own story, like I started by, my first music was just saxophone music. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So it actually was exciting to me. Now, did it make me feel vulnerable? Yes, but I never felt nervous about that part. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
Like being vulnerable was more of the treat. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I became addicted to because it's not like I'm new to performing. You see what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
I'm new to recording or like all of those things are like second nature. So what I was looking for was a way to feel something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't feeling anything by just playing notes on the saxophone anymore.
Right. Right. Having that, I'm having that sense of playing the sax and playing an instrument. Did that inform your songwriting at all, or even how you create music today?
Yeah, definitely. Because I'm a music like I would consider myself and my peers among the highest level of skilled musicians, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and I don't say that to say because I don't view anybody as bad. I only think people suck when they think they're good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so
Oh, I get that. I get that. Yeah.
yeah, you
Yeah.
feel me? Like
Yeah.
you don't have to be the most skilled because everybody's good.
Yeah.
So I don't say this to say it like, oh, I'm this or that, but I just have a lot of experience musically.
Yeah.
So it just you don't do that much time, dedicating yourself to a craft without just, acquiring a lot of different things that will help you, and I just think that, say for instance, like when I'm doing harmonies on my records, like it's so easy because that's what I did for years on the spot
Mm-hmm.
playing the saxophone. You see what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
doesn't really inform my lyrical writing, but it does inform my ability to hear different notes in terms of my top line. I might that's informed by listening and transcribing train solos. You know what I mean? Like all of this stuff, I improvise on my instrument, so melodies
Mm-hmm.
sort of come naturally to me, and I can just do like I can think of words at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and hearing that I feel like as far as all the music styles out in the world, me personally, I think jazz was the one that makes you gives you that improv muscle because it's just like you don't know whether you're gonna have to do any kind of fill or just
Right.
solo, and you
Yeah.
gotta listen to you gotta listen to bass player, you gotta listen all over.
Yeah.
So I feel like
Yeah. Yeah.
jazz is the perfect way to just tune your brain to music and playing
Yeah.
with other people in general.
Yeah. Yeah. And it also offers you that really healthy level, that dose of like humility.
Mm.
I went to new school in New York, you know what I
Hmm.
mean, and
Yeah.
studied jazz. So I was there, Keon, Harold, Robert Glasper, those are all my friends that before I moved to New York, I thought I was good.
Hmm.
But when I moved to New York, I started getting my ass kicked every day playing jazz music though. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so, I think that definitely more than any other sort of music, any other music definitely informed like my respect for doing things in a certain way.
Hmm. What was it you who picked the saxophone, or do you think the saxophone picked you?
Well, my uncle Kirk is a saxophonist.
Oh, okay,
He like
gotcha.
his name is Kirk Whalum, and he toured with like Whitney Houston. He's like an artist, you know what I'm saying? So, but I
Yeah.
saw that when I was a kid, and when I played drums, and my dad is a pastor, and he had a church. I played there. So I thought when I got to band class in sixth grade that they allowed everybody to go stand by their instrument that they wanted to play. I went to the drums, And as she read the roll, she got to my name and said, "What? Do you know who you are? Blah blah." You know what I mean? And you're gonna play the saxophone. So it's a gift and a curse because
Yes.
it wasn't really my thing. But I also had a cheat code because my uncle was around, and if I could just play like him,
Yeah.
I was gonna do fine, and it was just sort of like around me all the time. So do I love it? I love it, but at the same time, to a certain degree, it's like I've always felt that there was something else more that I wanted to do that was better suited to who I was.
Hmm. Oh, I mean, I get that. My sister isn't maestro at all or continues music at all, but I would watch her doing marching band, and I'd see the drum line, and I'd be like, "That's what I want to do. I want to play the drums."
Yeah.
And the first day I took a band in sixth grade, they looked at me and said, "No, you're gonna play tuba." And from that day on, I was just crushed until you get older, and it's just like, oh, I can do something else.
Right. Yeah, I can do whatever I want.
What? Yeah, and then that's when I started learning drums, and 3 months into it, they were like, okay, well now you need to be in jazz band because you need a drummer, and I'm
Right.
just, but I'm not any good, and they're like, perfect, let's go, and
Right.
so.
Love it.
Yeah, as much as I fought jazz growing up in high school, now that I'm older, I appreciate it because, like I said earlier, it gave me a set of skills to
Right.
work with other people, and now I can keep a beat, so that's pretty
Right.
cool.
Right.
I can be in time.
Love it. I love it, bro.
But did you feel any of that pressure to do saxophone from your
Yeah,
family?
definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, now I will say, I won't say that it was that kind of prayer. It was more just like, a lot of praise can equal pressure,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, and I appreciate them supporting me and kind of guiding me to help me stay with that because ultimately it's just a conduit, you know what I mean, to
Right.
when you get old enough or, when you get to a certain point where when it's time to like make a decision, you can make that decision knowing, hey, I took this as far as I could, and I'm not happy with this, or I am happy with it, and you kind of just get. I think everybody gets around to it anyway, whatever they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. No, absolutely. We all have a calling, and we find we answer when we answer.
Right, exactly. Yep, exactly.
When it comes to the album that is coming out here soon, I'm very curious. Was there one song on the album that just took a little bit more time to figure out whether the lyrics or the music wasn't working?
Yeah, maybe um probably all I need.
Mm.
Um just because I just wasn't sure. I did it with a friend of mine, the guitarist Adam. And I just wasn't sure that I felt comfortable delivering it,
Mm-hmm.
and this has happened a couple of times just in terms because I do all the music like first,
Yeah.
so sometimes you get around to it, and I wasn't feeling that my delivery was like true to who I am, right at
Mm-hmm.
first, um, and then I came to like love it the most, it's among my favorites, you know what I'm saying, like just because I don't know, I just kind of got around to being stepping out of that comfort zone. He Another song I have called Motive that we did together, and I felt the same, but it's like a favorite, and I love performing it now. I love, I just love that I even have it. I love that it's even in my catalog. But yeah, similarly, this one it started off like that. I was like, I ain't really just too confident in how I'm singing this. But then, like I said, it came around.
Yeah. um, I said earlier, we're in the pandemic and all that, and now that live shows are starting up, you have a live show coming up
Right.
here
Yeah.
in July.
Yeah.
Is there a song on the album that you're looking forward to playing?
Yeah. All of them really. I mean,
Yeah.
with being the first time, but most likely the one I want to perform, like that I really want to perform is Party. You know,
Mm.
I just like it. I like the harmonies. I like the chorus, and I think it's sort of like inspirational at the same time. So I think that performing it with an interactive audience will sort of enhance, the power of the message. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Nice, nice. And if there's one thing that I love in this world is a good horror story.
uh-huh.
And I'm just wondering if you have a gig horror story or a gig fail story.
Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, I have a zillion probably, and it doesn't really ever. I like to pride myself on like being on point musically, So there's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
really many instances like that. It's a lot of funny stuff, but one in particular, I was just telling my kids about this. I was on tour with Jay-Z, and we
Mm-hmm.
were doing, he had a horn section, and we had a part in the show where I was playing Iwi on some, he's got a lot of samples and stuff. So I might be
Right.
playing strings or like, a patch. And there was a section where he has a song, H to the is I think that's it.
Correct. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He got the sample from the Jackson 5. And I had like one of the patches from that. So I was playing the Iwi, the electronic wind instrument. Um, and I had a patch, I had a rig, where I turned the knob to the patches that I would be switching back and forth from.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's not a wind instrument, so you can't hear it standing there. It's going through like a keyboard,
Yeah.
in the house, and in my ears. So at this particular point, I was supposed to be playing strings, and I turned it one too far, and I didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
So it turns out that the next patch was like a machine gun.
Oh no.
Yes,
Oh.
we were like in an arena,
Oh.
and so I'm blowing. I'm supposed to be playing strings. I'm blowing. All I'm hearing is,
Oh.
and Jay turns around, but he doesn't know where to look because, mind you, he thinks I play saxophone, so there's no way that kind of sound would be coming from where I'm at.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I didn't
Yeah.
realize it either at first. I'm just playing the hell out of it, And then after a second, I'm like, wait a second. I stopped and I did it again, and I'm like, wait, that's me. I look down at the thing, and it says something like, machine gun or like, heavy artillery, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, I never really told anyone on the show because nobody knew. Nobody could like trace that back to me, but yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, you just quietly, pushed back and was just went back to playing, and then
Yeah. And I'm looking
what?
around. I'm looking around too, like who's getting fired tonight?
What?
Who's getting fired tonight, man?
Have you ever used that setting since?
You said what?
Have you ever used that setting like what's the point of
No,
a machine like what?
but I mean, like you got to think in keyboards, they got all kind of, you got
Yeah.
hand claps, you got, screams,
Yeah.
you got, people might use it for, scoring films or who knows, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
But yeah, whatever the reason is, whatever it wasn't right.
No. Well, I mean, I'm glad everyone was okay, and
Right.
Mr. Jay-Z didn't
Carter, yeah.
yeah, he didn't kick you off.
Yeah, no, it was a good vibe after
There we go. Kenneth, thank you so much
Yeah, man.
for chatting with me. I was listening to the album earlier today, and it was really beautiful, really soulful, and I
Thank
was
you,
just
man.
really. I normally when I'm listening to music, I usually just put on headphones and I'm doing my work or whatever I'm doing. But this one, I was just, you know what? Let me just go sit down and relax. So I turned the speaker up, and I just I had a listening party, and it was really nice. And I keep doing what you're doing, and I'll keep listening.
Thank you, bro. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you for inviting me in the time. Yeah, man, and I appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Of course, no problem. But I'll let you go. Hopefully, have a nice civil game of putt putt.
You know what's coming, man. You know what's coming, man. I followed you on Instagram, so I'll shoot you a DM maybe and let you know how bad I beat up on.
Oh, okay, yeah, no problem, yeah. Let me know how many tears
Got you, bro.
were shed.
No, I'm gonna try to keep it cool, man.
Yeah. No worries, no. Worries.
I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you. Continue to have a good day, and stay safe and healthy to you and your family. All right.
Thank you so much, man. God bless you, bro.
God bless. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye bye.